All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. This is Doyle Bueller from all the way from Perth, Australia. And hello, digital challengers and live streamers. Welcome to Livestreaming Decoded, where we show you the strategies, tools, and the platforms that your business needs to define your brand value, create remarkable digital experiences worth remembering, and deliver online anytime and any place. My name is Doyle Bueller, as I said, and I'm with my co-host Keith Keller, who will say a few words coming up. We also have a special guest, Anne-Marie Cross from Melbourne. And we also have Gayl Murphy, who will hopefully be joining us into the discussion as well, all the way from the United States of America. So we're really excited about that. We're talking about what's really important here, what we call our live stream ABC, audience building content. And today in part 9 of our limited series shows, we're talking about building authenticity and trust with your live stream. So let's dig in. Keith Keller is considered to be one of the many of the world's leading authorities on Twitter marketing, especially Twitter video marketing, and he's amazing at that. Gayl is a media entrepreneur all the way from California, media expert and award-winning Hollywood correspondent, media and presentation coach, speaker, and author of Interview Tactics. And then we have Anne-Marie Cross, who's been a absolutely joy to work with. She's come on our shows. We've gone on her shows. Just fantastic. Anne-Marie Cross is the CEO and founder of Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast Network, Industry Thought Leader Academy, and dubbed the Podcasting Queen, which is 100% correct, because I hear about Anne-Marie Cross in a lot of WhatsApp groups and a lot of Facebook groups. So let's get started. Welcome, Keith.
Well, look, I'm very excited by what we're doing here. We've decided to call this episode Keep It Real. And the reason we're doing that is because there's really two approaches to live stream. Just get up there and do anything, and that's fine, except you've got kids in the background washing in view and maybe not so much professional. And then there's the people who we've had various discussions with that says, look, I'm not going live until I've got the best webcam, until I've got the best software, until I've got the best mic. And it's going to cost me $2,000, but at least it'll sound good and it'll look good. And then I say, well, okay, what are you going to talk about? Oh, well, I haven't thought of that. I'm just going to buy the gear. So this particular show is all about being authentic. Sure, you've got to look a little bit professional. You've got to have some gear, and we're going to talk about some gear. But I don't want people to get so stuck on buying the right mic or the right webcam or having a green screen or being so scared that they haven't got the absolute perfect tech that people miss out on their wisdom. Would you agree, Anne-Marie? Is this where we're going with this idea?
Yeah, absolutely. And even some of the statistics that have polled people around the world and asked them, when you're hearing or listening or watching someone's message, what do you prefer? Do you prefer something that's highly professional, highly scripted, and just, 110% fantastic? Or would you like more of an authentic, real world, real conversation? And the statistics have proven, and some resource that I highly recommend people start to keep an eye and ear out for is Edelman Trust Barometer. And feedback was they love that real world conversation rather than the scripted. And even more so why it's important that too scripted and people almost try and, do I trust this resource? Because we kind of then think of it in the media, and media is one of those, do I trust this? Is it fake news? So I think real conversations, but also keeping it in line with your brand. Remember in the career days, Keith, you and I would say dress for the role that you are going for, the environment that you're going for. You want to build that reputation. And I think that's the same for live streaming too.
Thanks, Anne.
Hey, Gayl.
No, that's really good, and we'll come back to that. Welcome, Gayl.
Hey, thanks for having me. I didn't even know you had opened up the door, and I'm like, where are they?
Yeah, we're hiding. We're hiding all the way across around the planet. So welcome.
Well,
Anne-Marie just gave us a quick little.
How's my audio? Is it okay?
Yeah. No, you sound perfect. Yeah.
Otherwise, I have big moose ear headphones, so. This is good.
That's good. So welcome to the show, Gayl. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We're already rolling, so we're just getting right into it.
Well, I like long walks on the beach.
I'm not into yoga.
You're not into yoga.
We're like this. You're a friend. I'm a friend of Keith.
It is raining over here, so I'm kind of getting caught in the rain too. So.
Someday we'll do a whole show on how I met Keith. It's great. And
Well,
Mrs. Keith and this whole tribe of people that they, that he entrees himself into restaurants with. It's very exciting. I am the celebritizer. I teach people how to use the media in their business. I teach them how to tell it to sell it. Because if you can't tell anybody, if you can't tell one person, you can't tell a million who you are, what you're doing, what you're up to on TV, radio, print, online, FaceTime, whatever it is. And I've also redefined the definition of media. So there you go.
Fascinating.
How do you define it?
Yeah.
Well, up until about mid-2000s, where we had a tremendous, thank you for going to my setup, by the way, where we had a tremendous, teutonic shift in media. And so up until that point, the dear Mr. Webster had defined it as something as TV, radio, print, billboards, newspapers, magazines. So my definition, so I scrapped that altogether. So the definition of media, Murphy's Law, is anyone or anything that has the ability to take your message and move it forward. And so what that means is it's an email, it's a photograph, it's a tweet, it's an email, it's a pamphlet, it's a giant billboard on Santa Monica Boulevard or whatever it is. And if you can't tell it, you can't sell it. So, and it's interesting because when I do seminars and I speak, a lot of people say, Gayl, I'm not really doing media. I'm just not there yet. I just started my business. It's still on the table in my kitchen. I said, so basically what you're telling me is that you've never sent an email, you've never posted anything, you've never been in a photograph, you never told anybody about what you're doing. The fact is, armed with a smartphone and a couple of social media sites, we are broadcasting 24/7. So seriously, what do you want the world to know? That you just ate a donut, right? Or a pizza? And we have to take this very seriously. And this is not for the faint of heart. You got to pull on your big girl and big boy pants and turn your brain around, because you now are the CEO, CFO of a potentially extremely large broadcast, global broadcast that is potentially bigger than CNN or BBC or Sky or whatever, because you're global. So you have to respect the power. You have to use the power, because the power will work for you. But you got to be really grown up about it. That is, if you're serious about who you are, what you're doing, and what your goal is. And basically, I believe all of us our goal is the same thing, which is world dominance. And we want to win.
Good case in point, because look at what we're having. Doyle is from Canada but lives in Perth. Anne-Marie and I. For Perth or for Canada?
Yes.
Or both.
Anne-Marie and I are
Nobody will have me.
And thank you for apologies in advance for that, because it's freezing cold and I'd rather that not be the case. And you're from LA, and here we are. We're living the global dream, aren't we? We have 3 continents represented, 3 countries represented, 2 continents, thousands of miles away from each other. But the glory, the authenticity of being able to meet in the middle with a site called StreamYard, streaming to Facebook Live and Periscope. This is the world we now live in. This is the world I want to be part of. And I want to teach everyone to do it. I want to do it more, and I want to have more guests on the show. And what you're saying there, Gayl, is exactly true. We are our own media companies now, and we don't have to wait for CNN to give us a chance to talk for 3 minutes on the morning show. We can do it ourselves. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I love the way that you've said that, Gayl, because I remember years ago I invested in a high-end publicity PR course, learned how to write press releases, do all of the things. But what I hated was the chasing. I just did not like the chasing. And at that time I thought, I'm not going to chase other people to be able to share my story, which is why I built my own podcast platform and then said, I'm going to build that. And I think people are realizing that now. And because of the audiences that we are building, if we do it strategically, we can build a higher, much more engaged audience and influence and impact them, because you're creating a community of like-minded people that has a common desire and challenge that you can help them overcome. And I think we have got more influence and impact than and I'm going to say that any media company has, especially now, because people are now starting to want to listen, watch, learn from more niched podcasts and live streamers, and they can do that without being bombarded constantly with in-your-face, interrupted advertising, which a lot of those larger, mainstream media does to monetize. So I think as small business owners who are leveraging our own media and building our own media platforms have got a huge, ability to be able to leverage that on all fronts and monetize. So reach, reputation as a trusted authority, and revenue from that highly niched audience that you're building.
Yeah, it's true. I have been doing a podcast since like 2004. I was part of a podcast company, and we had a great time. The thing, we were incredibly in front of the curve.
They didn't even call it podcast back then. We started as in 2008, I think, Keith, didn't we? But we were using audio as part of, the way that we shared content to our audience.
Well, it didn't have a visual, but I remember speaking at the very first podcast festival. It was here in Los Angeles. I was a speaker. And it was, everyone in the audience knew what it was, and it was very interesting. I have an interesting story from that. And I never, it was a podcast convention, and I never spoke to them again. I had a girl that was sitting in the front row. Everyone was like having a great time. I got them all whipped up. It was great. They were getting my message. And I had this very goth-looking 17 or 18-year-old girl sitting in the front row, because I told her, I said, if you are going to put yourself out there and you're not sure what to do, watch Jay Leno. Watch what's on TV, because they have set the bar, and that is how people's expectation is to actually take you in. And she said, well, not all of us really want to do that. I said, then maybe you should just take your tent and go home, because this is called the work. And this is what you have to do. And it's about production value. It's about content. And she reported me to the people that were running it, that I had hurt her feelings. And they said, we're sorry, we're not going to invite you back again. And I was like, loser! But that's it. It's work. It's not enough just having all the groovy toys.
You have to move beyond those. Yeah, go ahead, Keith.
Let me just pick up on this exact point, because this is why we're calling this show Keeping It Real. Yeah. We're not saying that this is fun all the time and that you're just doing this as a hobby. We're saying that the tools now exist for you to do this in your house. But there's also a responsibility to have a set of principles, like maybe some lighting, or at least be able to see you. I've seen some of Anne-Marie's podcasts where guests have turned up in a tank top and been in the backyard. And I'm thinking, and they're on their phone in the backyard, and you can't see them because the sun's shining on them. And I'm thinking, why would you do that? Why would you present your business opportunity in a tank top in the backyard? There's got to be some minimum level of requirements. But the exciting part is that I've got a pair of headphones, a webcam, and a light, and here I am talking to hundreds of people, thousands maybe, I live in Melbourne, Australia, and people know about me, and I've got a message, and I can share that message, but I don't need thousands of dollars worth of equipment. And I want this show to be about how do you find that middle ground. It's got to be some production value, but you don't have to have staff. Am I on the right track?
Yeah. No, it really depends on who you're speaking with and who your audience, and I guess that's important too, right? If your audience is, tank tops and shorts on the beach, then that's okay.
Well, yes, if you have a multi-million-dollar company that sells flip-flops and sunscreen, that's perfect. And I think a perfect embodiment of what you just said is Mark Zuckerberg. Okay? I mean, he's probably wearing $4,000 cotton T-shirts, which I can buy in the drugstore for $1.99. But see, he's dressing for what's called showtime. Because when that red light goes on and you realize that this is happening, it shouldn't matter what venue you're in. It's showtime.
Yeah,
and your performance and your information and your body language, it's showtime. You are in the zone. You are in the cone. You are in the zone. And your job is to deliver.
But is there an inconsistency sometimes when you might see, like, Mark Zuckerberg runs the biggest company on earth and he shows up maybe not ready, maybe a little bit unprepared, or maybe not dressed for the role? I don't know. This is sort of how
he testified in front of Congress, he had a $4,000 Armani suit on.
Yeah, okay.
So he knew his audience.
Yeah.
They wouldn't respect him if he didn't have a $4,000. I mean, I don't know if it was $4,000, but why would he spend less than $4,000, right? And he probably has a closet full of them. But he knew who his audience was. See, that's another thing. Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
So true.
Can I just jump in there and ask Anne-Marie about the Edelman barometer? We're now in an environment where the consumer is starting to see through the BS. And the consumer, which is ultimately the people we are broadcasting to, are starting to say, you know what, I do like seeing you in a t-shirt, man. Just hang out. I don't want, like, I've seen videos where the guy or the girl is scripted and there's every word is in place and it's so boring. And I'm thinking, you just had that written for you, didn't you? You're reading it out. You know, and I'm thinking this is of no interest to me because I'm detached from the reality. On the other hand, I've seen really high-level people talking off the cuff, off the hip, as we call it, and you get it. So, Anne-Marie, what's the dichotomy there? What's the real balance between?
Yeah. And I draw back to what we were saying earlier, is that you need to think of, well, what is the outcome that I want from this particular interview or this particular podcast or live stream? Who is my audience? Exactly what Gayl was saying. And is the way that I am addressing, speaking, the way I'm presenting, you know, even in the clothes and the environment, is that speaking the brand? Because if it's off brand, it's going to be distracting. So again, you could have the best equipment, you could have the best content, but people are going to be distracted because you are in your tank top and you're speaking through your phone. Similar to the analogy that we used previously, if you're going to a job interview, you want to dress the part. You know, you still got to bring the goods. You're still going to be able to communicate in that way. But if you come underdressed or even overdressed to a job interview, there's going to be that disconnect there, and it's going to, it's just going to cause that. Yeah.
So is Keith overdressed then?
We are these gigantic broadcasting companies. So what that also means is that we have to do all the jobs that these big companies do as well. So scouting a location is part of it. Wardrobe is part of it. Makeup is part of it. Lighting, audio.
Scheduling ahead. That's the hardest part, scheduling ahead. Like, I mean, let's be very clear about how StreamYard works. StreamYard is just this glorious site that costs $50 a month, but there are so many moving parts. We've got to find guests. We've got to schedule ahead. We've got to send it to Facebook. We've got to send it to Periscope. We've got to get the recording and send it to YouTube. And Doyle's there very calmly monitoring the whole thing. we've got to send the comments into the platform, and hello to Linda for making comments, and so sorry that we haven't been able to put more of those in. But Doyle is just calmly sitting there watching things go past, but there's a zillion things happening at once, isn't it?
And StreamYard is easy. Like, honestly, it's one of the easier platforms. Like, we were trying last week, we were trying Ecamm and Skype and everything, and it's like, oh, this can get so complicated so fast. So I think, as we were talking about earlier, like, you need to use what you can and focus in on the content that really is more about you and about your show. It's not about having a fancy mic, and it's not about having the ear set or whatever the case may be. It's how do you actually use it? How do you build that audience? How do you communicate with them?
And I think it's building that experience. When you think of authenticity, it's I have what I call the distinction triad. And one of the things, there's aptitude, there's attitude, and then there's approach. And your attitude's very much your character, but your how you approach something is how you respond to something. And I've been known to, if suddenly I press the wrong intro music, I just laugh and go, take two. You just got to go with the flow. And I love the way Linda has said people love imperfection. They love that vulnerability. It's like, the bloopers at the end of a movie when you see that the actor has said something and you just see that twinkle in their eye and they all laugh and then they carry on. It's those moments of that people do love. So it almost creates this endearingness about it. And so I think there's a balance of that. Obviously, there has to be some preparation. And when you're able to just, I guess it's own your space, because you know the content, you know what you're here to share, and the way in which you deliver that, continue to bring that out, authentically. Don't have to put a mask on, just be you, the best version of you. And I think people will really resonate to that. Your people, the tribe that you want to create.
Do you think that they should, you talked about preparing, Anne-Marie and Gayl, like, should we be going off notes? Should we be, what should we be doing? Or just does it depend on the audience itself or myself? Like myself, I prepare, I make some notes, some key highlights or key questions or whatever. And I do read an introduction, not every time, but I do, because it helps me feel a little bit comfortable. And perhaps there isn't an ideal solution, but what do you recommend? Both Gayl,
I think do what works for you. Do what works for you. You'll get to a stage where you can run a whole show and probably just have 3 key points. When I first started, I do have an introduction because there's certain things that I want to make sure that I share. But then once we start the conversation, and the introduction's very short, it's compelling because people want to know, what am I going to learn from this? Then the conversation can kind of flow. But I have a structure. I know exactly where I want to take the guest. And then the rest of the conversation is very fluid, depending obviously on what they say, how they respond.
Yeah,
I think for me, it's a matter of what you're doing. If you're presenting, or if you're being interviewed, or if you're being part of something, each one of those activities has its own game rules. Like, it's like a sub game. Right? Yeah. So, if you're being interviewed, that's a whole other thing. If you're presenting, I tend to think it's I don't want to say it's easier, because you have to do everything, and I just get to sit here like a big fat cat and be the star of the me show starring me, right? But both of them require a lot of heavy lifting. So, because you have to do all the research, you have to decide what your questions are, you have to decide where you want to go with it, and that's called the work, and that's what we have to do. When you're on the side that Anne-Marie and I are on right now, even though this is a group talk, it's basically an interview in a lot of ways, because we're going to spit it out and tell you all really what's going on.
We're trying to build that discussion side of it too, right? Which is important.
So basically, it's changing a lot. So it's really about, see, this is media. This is big time media, no matter how you look at it, even if at this point no one was even watching it. It's big time media. So it's like anything else. What does the media like? What does it eat? Because if I'm sitting here being interviewed, I have to feed you. I have to satiate the audience. So what does the media eat? It eats sound bites, talking points. It eats what I call media fast food, which is bits, bytes, sound bites, because basically what that does is it sets the table. And so I set the table for you. So I am a very long time Hollywood correspondent. I've interviewed over 15,000 of the biggest celebrities and newsmakers on the planet. I worked for ABC News for 20 years. I worked for BBC for 20 years, and I'm only 19. But so I don't necessarily know what you're going to gravitate towards. So basically what I have to do for you is set the table. Just give you a little bit, a little taste of what I'm doing and what's going on, who I am, what I'm selling, what I want to get out of this. And you get to choose.
I love that metaphor, setting the table. I've never actually heard it expressed like that before, because really that's what you're doing is you're preparing a meal, a media meal
Right.
for your audience. So, what do they like? How do you arrange the table? Are you having an entree and or an appetizer, or over here as they call it differently? Do you have all these pieces as part of that? So it's fascinating.
That's true. So I set the table, and I'm qualified because it's been in there for years. I'm qualified to be able to talk about any of it.
Yeah.
And
Linda
also,
says snackables. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's right. Oh, I'll have a little this. So, okay, you worked for BBC, you worked for Sky. I'm not really interested in that. So who did you interview? Did you do Meryl Streep? Did you talk to Bob Dylan? And then I can tell you those stories. And it can go any which way. I mean, how many times, like Anne-Marie, have you sat down to be interviewed and it went a completely different direction than you actually had anticipated it would go, but it was just as satisfying, and you still got your message out because you were.
Let me just pick up on what you've just said there. This is exactly why I love live streaming. And I've been chatting to my wife about this, who's working from home, and she's noticing the difference. This is exactly the metaphor we're using. She's noticing the difference between working at home and having to generate her own energy, her own. She's had to generate her own momentum, her own enthusiasm. Whereas if you actually bounce off other people, in a sort of a live gig analogy, throwing back to Linda from last week, if you can bounce off what you just said there, you can talk about working for CNN and BBC, and that might prick a few ears up. But you might say, guess what? I interviewed Bob Dylan. Whoa, what was that? Tell me about that. Because that's more of interest to that person. So suddenly the interview goes in a different direction depending on the persons involved. And that's why I love live streaming.
And the audience too, because if the audience not even interested in Bob Dylan or doesn't know who Bob Dylan is, then they may not, they may not be interested. Yeah.
And you can't make the person who's interviewing them, you can't make them not be the star of the show. It's their show. So before you ever book any kind of interview, you want to Google them. Who are they? What do they like? What are their interviews like? How do they present themselves? What floats their boat? Because they're doing the same thing when they're interviewing me. And being interviewed is a two-person sport.
Look, I love this. I just love this because I've got good friends, and we all know people like this. They have a story, and they believe that the job of the media is to help them tell their story. And they're not particularly interested in who's interviewing them. The interviews are all the same. We all know people like that. But the really great talent, the really great interviews are when people can bounce off the person. Jimmy Fallon versus Jay Leno, say. And, you think, okay, there we are. Those two people are totally different styles. So those interviews are going to be different. And if you can morph your personality or your message into that style of presentation, it's a much more dynamic flow, isn't it? I've interviewed people that just all they want to do is tell me what they have to say. They're not interested in. They're not interested in
adding. They're not wanting to add to the conversation, or the conversation is about them. And
Well,
with
then
live
Is
stream,
that common? Is that common, or am I the only one in the world that's ever experienced that?
It depends. I think, like today, later on today, I'm going to be interviewing someone who's got a real dynamic personality. And I think for me, I know as a host, I want to create a platform upon which my guests can shine. And so if someone has we're talking about the it factor, charisma, what is it? Do you born with it? All that kind of stuff. And so if I've got someone that's really dynamic, then I don't need to be there to be at the same level. I'm a guide, cheerleader. I'll ask the right questions to really ensure that the content she's sharing is going to be relevant for my audience. But then you've got some guests who are just so shy and they answer with 1 or 2 syllables and you think, yeah, this is going to be, and then you've got to be a little bit more charismatic, still authentically, because your audience will see you and hear you over time, and they'll see when you're doing something a little bit different. But that's when you'll have to increase your energy so that you can that's what I do anyway. I make sure that my platform enables that guest to get to a stage where, and you can see it, all of a sudden they'll click and they're in the flow and they're in the zone, and then now it's a cut and they'll go, oh, that went quick. But that's how I feel that my host.
Well, those are your skills, Anne-Marie. Like, you as the host, you help sort of facilitate that. You
to make the best of the interview.
Definitely. So you have to deal with all the different types of people and how they respond and that sort of thing. So the sign of an amazing host like Anne-Marie is, can you pull that out? Can you actually create a conversation, a flow, a narrative, all those kinds of things. So
there's so much what was the word I was thinking of? There's so much we can do in preparing to show the people and be in the media than we even realize. What you don't want is surprises. You need to know how that person interviews. You also need to know how that person answers. That's part of it. I mean, there are celebrities that I have interviewed numerous times that I would never interview them again because they don't show up. They show up in body, but they don't bring anything with them. And being interviewed and interviewing someone is a 2-person sport. I'm there for you. You're there for me. And the thing is, when you tell me your story, me as a reporter and a correspondent, guess what? Guess whose name is on that story? Mine, not yours. Yeah. So now it's my story. I'm the storyteller now.
I want to pick up on, just in case people in the audience and maybe even here as well don't know, Anne-Marie and I have known each other since 2008. Where we've been exploring the idea of, at that time, blog talk radio, which is you'd get a $5 phone card from the milk bar. We still have milk bars, and you'd ring in a US number and they'd record it, which terrible sound, and then they'd send it to iTunes. It was very, very, very early days. But I remember specifically the joy, as Gayl is explaining, when you would get a guest that would get it. Okay, I get it. We're coming on your show. How can I help you? And thanks, Jennifer. I've noticed you've made a few comments. Thank you so much for making those comments. I see you. I love the way when guests come on the show and they get it. They prepare. They help. They don't have this big, elephant ego that says, mate, I'm coming on your show, and really I'm the show. You're just simply there asking me questions. We've all known people like this. I'm on the show and I'm answering the questions, and I'm the reason that people are tuning in, and you just ask me questions and feed it to me and I'll talk. And those guests are really hard for me because I like the banter. I like the interaction. I love the fact that Jennifer's made a comment and now that's part of the show. There she is again, a two-way sport. I love that. I love the fact that it's very interactive, and this is why I'm almost addicted now to live streaming. Thank you, and you're welcome. I love the fact that this is interactive. I'm talking. I could talk for an hour just to the camera with no one watching, but who cares about that? Linda and Jennifer and Erica, who's called in sometimes from Jamaica, and Mapes from Perth has called in, and we've got friends calling in all over the world. This makes the show very dynamic. And I want to ask the question of Gayl, because she's a media coach. What do you do for people who will not play? Or how do you prepare them to be a little bit more malleable? What do you say to them when they just want to share their message, but they don't want to be, part of the story?
Well, first of all, doing what I do is basically an inside job. So I basically have to convince them that it's their idea.
Okay, good.
And I teach them how to get there. I had a rock star that I was working with years ago, whose father was a bigger rock star, and he was following.
Do we get to know who that is?
No, he was following in his dad's footsteps, and I got a phone call from his management company saying he's already done like 20 interviews. He sucks so bad that if you can't get him into shape, we're just going to drop him because we can't put him out there. And basically, that's the job of a publicist, to put you out there, which means you have to appeal to the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time. So if you just want to talk to 5 people, then give up what you're doing and just talk to 5 people. So so when I first met him and we were talking, God, he was so charming. And I said, so have you been doing a lot of interviews? He said, oh, yeah. I said, oh, so are you any good? He said, oh, yeah. I said, so what is it? Tell me what it is, because I haven't seen the interview. He said, well, you could ask me a question and 5 minutes later, I'm still answering it. And I'm like, and you think that's good? He said, yeah. I said, no, it's not. It's not. Because you're having a conversation. You're not standing there delivering the Constitution of the United States. You have to, put something out there that can be just picked through and decided what you're going to talk about. And prior to doing an interview, you decide what your talking points are, what you want to talk about. And so we blew completely through the first session because he was just trying to please me and please himself, and it wasn't working.
You can see that
so
too.
We did a second session, and at some point in the second session, I could hear the trumpets of the angels. He flipped.
Wow.
And he looked at me and he said, I am so sorry. I wasted your time the whole first session. I wasted your time the first half of this. I get it. I want it. Give it to me. I said, thank you. And what was really interesting, and we did 5 other sessions after that. Each one was 2 hours each. And he wound up playing a very big gig here in LA it was like a year later. He sent me an email and said, you want to come? Yeah. I had a backstage pass and I went back there. And he was hugging me. He was showing me around. He said, this is my media coach. I gave her such a hard time. I busted her back and she still loves me. So, I think it's an honor. I'm just blown away. I think it's an honor to work with someone who wants to put it out there because they have courage, they have strength. Many times they don't know they have courage and strength, but I can see it and I can know it just from all the interviews that I've done. And I prop them up. A lot of it is, self-talk to them, telling them, this is really good. You're really doing really good with this. But you might want to tweak this and move this around.
Is it, you brought up some good points, Gayl, and maybe Anne-Marie, you can jump in there as well, but a lot of businesses who start to do live stream are really, maybe it's fear, right? Maybe they're scared of doing it. Maybe they don't know where to start. And these fears kind of really get in the way. I know I experience it too. It's like, oh, do I really want to go live now? Or am I really going to go live next week? Like, I got a lot of stuff to do to be able to do that. So we kind of talk ourselves out of it. But Is fear a factor for starting a live stream?
Oh, definitely. And I actually started live streaming because I got bored with interviews, because I love the spontaneity. I love surprises. I love it when I get a guest that feels so awkward, because it's my job to get them out of that awkwardness. Because I love and it really is finding a conversation or an angle that all of a sudden that lights them up, because when someone is talking about something they're passionate about, the authenticity will often come through. And so for me, that is my role that I find as a storyteller, as a guide, and getting the best out of my guests. And you kind of weave in, your story, your personality, you validate as they go along. So I guess what I do, Gayl, almost is like the coaching that you do with your clients on a podcast, if I'm with someone who perhaps is feeling quite awkward. But that's just something that I think, if someone's thinking of starting a podcast or a live stream, after you do so many, you get to understand and appreciate and almost be able to do that and keep the conversation flowing. And you have some really great open-ended questions, and that really allows for the topic for people to dive further into specific areas, and you just guide that along. I love that. And I never send guests any questions. We just have the 3 key points and off we go.
Yeah. Can I pick up on something there?
Please, yeah.
I want to talk about this idea that, okay, live streaming is fearful in the same way that climbing Everest is fearful, but you don't go straight out of high school and climb Everest. So, I did a show on Zoom, which was pre-recorded, and Arian was on it, Gayl. She was lovely. Arian's my friend from LA, who I met with when I met Gayl. And she was there, and we recorded it on Zoom, and it's in HD, and it looks great. But it was recorded on Zoom before you could stream. So I then had to send it with slow internet to YouTube. It took like half a day.
Oi.
And so the advantage of live streaming, and why you would do it, completely separate to all of the funness, if that indeed is a word, is that this is going live now. This show is live now, and you'll be able to watch it right now, but also the replay will be ready as soon as we push stop. It's there. So as a creator, the actual time differential between making content and getting it out there is like about 1/10, maybe even 1/20th. I remember when I was making shows on Zoom and sending them to YouTube, it would take like half a day by the time we've done the interview, chopped it up, sent it to YouTube, and made something from it that people could watch who weren't in the room. And now we've got a live stream which is being watched right now from at least Jennifer and Linda and other people around the world. And the replay will be ready at 1 minute past the time we stop. I was going to say 11 o'clock, but we're almost certainly not going to stop on time because we just keep going. So I think, separate to the fear, the practicality of live streaming is almost unsurpassed in the current environment. Would you agree, Doyle? Would you say that there's a lot of time saving involved with live streaming, or do you think there's more time involved?
There's a little bit of both, right? I mean, when you're preparing like a video, it's going to take some time to map it out and set it up and post-production. I really enjoy live streaming because, yes, it does take some upfront work, and like anything, it's going to take some work to be good at it or to do it well or that sort of thing, but you have to prepare properly. And in my case, like I have a hard time doing sort of those spontaneous shows where I just talk about something, one idea or whatever. It's like either I'm talking 20 minutes for one idea or I'm kind of all over the place. So I like to keep notes. But the point is that with a live stream, you really have that ability to, once you're prepared, you go live, and then that's the show. You don't have to edit it. You don't have to post-production. You don't have to add titles. You don't have to do all that stuff. So from a business standpoint, it's a really quick and easy method of creating some good content, having some guests. Not every show has to have guests either, and I might want to add that in also, is that it can be about a specific concept or a topic or whatever the case may be. We obviously see a lot of those going, but the bottom line, live stream is pretty easy. Once it's set up, you run it, you publish it. You publish it again, you repurpose it, and we've talked a lot about that, but that gives you an opportunity to connect with your audience. You create snippets. Keith's the master of creating these snippets of the show. so that we've got, you know, a 1-minute version, a 2-minute version, and a 5-minute version as well. So depending on the channel, we just edit that and cut it, and away we go, and we can add it to our channels also. So bottom line, it's easy. It does take work up front, but that's what you're in it for, right? It's not meant to be.
It's the work.
Yeah. You have to do that. So
let me bump in on Anne-Marie. No, you go, Gayl. You've got an idea.
Well, yeah, I wanted to talk about the fear factor, which is the wall that has to be broken through. And I'll give you 2 ideas of what I believe and what I've experienced the fear is about. People are afraid because they don't know what to do. I mean, being interviewed and being in the media is probably the single most artificial thing you'll ever do. However, you can only be 100% authentic to do it well. So it's like dancing on the head of a pin. So number 1 is they don't know what to do. Number 2 is, even if I did know what to do, how much do I give away and how much do I keep?
Oh, wow.
How much do I reveal about myself? And that's what being authentic is about. It's like, I just want to sell my book. I don't want to talk about how I feel, you know. I don't want to get into it. It's personal. Well, you can still be personal and still sell your book.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? I know the answer, but I'm wondering if
Tell us.
if you know the answer.
We're waiting.
You make it about them.
Mm-hmm.
You make it about them. You say their name. You talk to them a little bit before. So if they're into tennis and you're talking about having to relate it to something in an action, you say, yeah, well, it's like when you play tennis. Or it's like when you know, the first time you kissed a boy, right? Or, you know, the first time you drove a car, or the first time you ever had a drink, you know, things that, you know, or the day you graduated. So that's a real mileage plus move. Because
Nice,
at the end of the day, the only way that people are going to allow themselves to open up to you is if you allow them to emotionally invest in you. And so when they emotionally invest in you, it doesn't matter what your book is about. They want to buy it because they feel like they know you because because you said their name.
You know, the thing that I find fascinating here is right at the bottom of the screen here, we've got a media coach and really a presenter coach. Like Anne-Marie teaches people to podcast by themselves and with guests, and you teach people to be interviewed by guests, by people who have guests. It's really fascinating to see both sides of the coin. Anne-Marie teaches people to be the presenter and allow people to talk. You're teaching people to allow the process, because it's not about you, is it? It's never about you. It's about the person who's doing you the favor and interviewing him, and there's enormous gratitude for that. If someone interviewed me on CNN, they are doing me the favor. I'm not doing them a favor. They're doing me the favor.
That's right.
There's enormous gratitude in that moment. And there's this humbleness about that. You know, and some people, when they get scared, they hide the humbleness and they pretend to be something they're not. That's what we're talking about.
They don't know what they're supposed to do. Seriously, it is that easy. And so your job is to let them know that they're not the only person that's ever felt that way. I don't think anybody has ever gone into the media, except maybe David Lee Roth, who just...
Was that who you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, no, but that's good though. That's good. But that just is, you know, every now and then you meet someone who's like the ringmaster, and they were born to be on your show. But 99.99% were not born to be on your show. But they still have to deliver. They still have to do the work. They still have to deliver. My belief, I don't want to say I don't. My belief is if you are going to do any kind of media, and you're not David Lee Roth, get a media coach. Why would you? I mean, if you're going to drive a car, you got to have driving lessons.
That's right, driving lessons.
Yeah, you see that a lot.
A really good one.
Yeah.
Can I ask Gayl then to maybe flip this around and do you have any advice? And I'll ask Anne-Marie the reverse question. Do you have any advice to podcast or live streaming hosts now that you've seen the side of media coaching from the point of view of the guest? What advice would you have to hosts to make their guests feel more comfortable? What tricks have you learned? What ideas have you seen work really well?
Don't forget, I've interviewed over 15,000 celebrities. And these are like all millionaires who think they know everything. And here I am, I live in Hollywood, and I'm driving over there, you know? And I'm glad to have the lunch in the hotel.
Yeah.
So,
and we're honored to have you on our show, by the way.
So you got to make it about them. Same kind of thing. Make it about them. Say their name. You're not their friend. Let them feel it about you. Typically, when you're so my advice to people that are having that are podcast that are interviewing for podcasts. You didn't always know what to do, but you figured it out. You fell and stumbled and picked yourself up and tried new things, and you kind of cobbled some stuff together. And I media trained podcasting people, so I had to interview as well. But you got to remember, you'll know in a minute, and Anne-Marie will just vouch for this. You'll know that in a minute if the fear factor is at play. So if it's, I sincerely, I don't know what to do, but I'm here. I shouldn't really be here, but I am. So in some way you have to telegraph to them, I got this. I got this.
Yeah. I'm in charge.
Scared?
I'm in charge.
Do I look scared?
I'm so glad you're on my show. I'll set you up. Don't worry. I got this.
I love that because there's two parts to that. There's the David Lee Roth, who I haven't met in person, but I'm sure he's a bit of a dynamo. And he'd come on the show and he takes over, right? And we all know people like that.
Yeah.
But there's also the people going, look, I have got a book and I'm pretty clever, but just don't ask me about it. I don't know what to say. And your job as the host is to say, look, we got this. Look, my job is to make you shine. I'll find a way.
That's right. That's right. And so the first one is I got this. And the second one is you don't know how much they want to keep to themselves, and you don't know how much they want to give away. So just ask them.
Just ask.
Just ask. It doesn't matter. This is your show. You can do anything you want. So I'm not sure, I researched you. I love your product, but I don't necessarily know what your boundaries are. What were you thinking when this was happening? And you know what? You're not the first person that ever asked them that question. So they already have an answer. So either they'll say, well, I'm not really comfortable, and it's okay. That's fine. Yeah. So, so you figure out some kind of workaround, but just be honest. You want to do for them what you want them to do for you, and you want them to be honest, and that's authenticity. So I have interviewed people where I got called at the last minute. I didn't see the movie. I didn't hear the music. And I'm not really interested in the music, and I'm not really interested in the movie. I'm not telling them that. At the end of the day, I want to know what's going on with them. What inspired them? What was it like when they were in 12th grade and in their bedroom, playing air guitar, saying, I'm going to be a big rock star? Or when you were working in Walmart and you decided, I'm going to write a really great book. And here you are, you have this really great book. And so, you know what? They don't really care. I have never interviewed someone who was so precious that said, well, you didn't see my movie. You didn't listen to my music. And I've said to them, I only got called 20 minutes ago from your publicist to come and interview you because there was a slot available. And I was going to wait till and this is my little lie, I was going to wait until the last minute to see, to actually listen so I could be fresh, whatever. They don't care. They don't care.
There's a really great scene in a movie called Notting Hill with Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
And who is the main character? Who?
Horse and Hound. He was representing Horse and Hound.
That's right. Yes. And I can't remember the guy's name. Hugh. It'll come to me. Anyway, so he wants to go out with this girl who happens to be a supermodel and an actress, and he gets called in to. Have you seen the movie? Have you seen Notting Hill, where Hugh Grant goes to this hotel and he's thrust into this room with 100 people, and he picks up a book and he goes, "Where are you from?" I'm from Horse and Hound, because that's the only magazine that was there. And what's the movie about? Well, it's about outer space. Right? I was thinking on the fly. Okay, is there any horses in the movie? No, it's set in outer space. Yeah. Okay. No worries. Have you ever ridden a horse? Yeah. Okay. So what you're saying there is do some preparation, but make it about them. And that particular movie is really quite funny. In that particular scene, people speaks exactly like, because we've all done this. We've had 10 minutes to prepare, and we're on. Geez, what do we do? Yeah. But I want to flip it. Because I've never asked Anne-Marie this question. I want to flip it, and I want to ask Anne-Marie, how can guests, this is a very essential question now, how can guests prepare to be on other people's shows? What are some of the things that they can do to make the show great for the host?
Great question. And the people that I would interview, that they are really specialists in their field. So a lot of them are service-based businesses who are selling expertise. So they're thought leaders. And so a lot of the people that I interview on my show, they want to become known as trusted authorities in their field. So you have to know your stuff, and you have to be able to answer questions from left, right, and be able to dive deep and answer and provide reasons why you say what you are saying. So whilst there is storytelling, there is also fact-telling and case study sharing and all that sort of thing. So you need to be able to speak about that and go kind of in different angles. One of the things that I will often do too, and I do with all of my guests, is I'll ask them, what are the 3 takeaways that my audience is going to learn? So very much what Gayl was talking about. It's for the audience. What are the takeaways? What are they going to learn? What are the outcomes and insights? And so when you are preparing, you want to make sure that the stuff you're talking about and that you're sharing, especially if you want to be seen as that thought leader, how are you challenging the status quo? What is outdated? What is no longer relevant? What is, the biggest challenge that your ideal clients and also the audience are struggling with, and be able to share insights into that and be able to speak about that well. And also to help the host prepare by sharing, these are the takeaways and the benefits. I see, for me, when I'm approached as a podcast host and people tell me I've been on this podcast and I don't care. I don't care if you're on Oprah or on whatever. I want to know, what value are you bringing to my audience, and how are you doing it different from, say, the other 10,000 people who have emailed me because they want to come on my show? And that's so important if you want to be that trusted authority. Now, you're also talking about building trust, and there's something that's happened in 2020 that people will need to be aware of as they're now approaching interviews, especially if you want to be seen as a trusted authority. Trust, or the model of trust, has changed. And again, Edelman, our Trust Barometer, has found out in 2020, trust is now built on competence and ethics. Competence and ethics. And so competence is really excellence in what you do. So I think you need to be able to validate why you, the expert or thought leader in your industry, and often it is through experience and knowledge and insights and innovations that you've contributed. And ethics is all about being integral in your business dealings. And that, I think, very much relates to what we were talking about today, is authenticity, saying what you know is true and delivering or over delivering as you're bringing that content. You know, and ethics would boil down to integrity, purpose, I think is really important, and being dependable. And that's really important. So ability, competence, excellence, and ethics. And I think when we hold those two pillars is really important, and how we deliver content and just how we show up, that's really going to continue to build trust with our audience.
What would you say, Doyle? What would you say because guests often, they get left to we all know about hosts. We've all got live streams. We're all talking about the host. But what do you think guests need to do to prepare to make the host have a great show? Because that's what we want. We want the show to be great. What can guests do?
Well, I think sometimes they can submit. I've had this like as a guest as well. It's good if you can come on prepared to the show as well, and sometimes that's either saying, hey, do you want to ask me these questions, or what questions would you typically ask as well? So that can kind of help you sort of understand, again, as a guest, what are the expectations of the show? What do I need to prepare for? Do I need to, get a creative visual or something like that? So I think that those are important, just because sometimes you can obviously research the show and Google it and what have you, and maybe watch a couple episodes as well. But there's the time factor. So how can you kind of minimize that? How can you maximize that time that you do have to be able to research the company or understand what they're doing or how they're doing it? So yeah, when I get a request from a company or a person that wants to do an interview, it's like, do you want questions? Can I have some questions? That sort of thing, just to help structure it. And honestly, most of the times the questions go out the front door anyways. So it's something to imagine.
Can I ask a subsequent question of all three of you? How much is the content important as opposed to the way that the guest promotes it or helps you? I mean, which of the two things are more important? I get asked almost every week for people to come on my shows, whatever they are, even old shows that aren't on anymore, and I think, well, okay, content is one thing, but how are you going to promote it? How are you going to leverage it? What do you think is the most important content or marketing, or both?
Both. Yeah, I think both. And a point that I'm seeing now too, especially for podcasts, I don't know if this is happening with live streaming, but a lot of organizations are now popping up, and they have been for many years, where they will then go and seek opportunities for their clients to go and speak on podcasts. Now, I refuse now when I say refuse, I would say that 99.99999% of time, I just won't even bother, because the whole dynamics now has changed. I've spent years building up my platform. So why would I have someone that would come on that does not share, that is only doing, because now that their attitude has changed, and because they're paying for someone to get them on, to get them onto my podcast. So for me, I will seek opportunities to speak with people who are adding value, who are relevant to my audience, with the knowledge and the expertise, that they share.
That's been one of the issues too, is that with the rise in podcasting, and I've been doing it not quite as long as yourself, Keith, and Anne-Marie as well, but you have sort of, now the market's sort of flooded with, I'm not sure what they are or what you'd call them, but agents, where it's like, oh yeah, my client's looking to be on, your podcast. Yes. And they just send this random email. They haven't obviously researched even my show, right? Or it's not complimentary, or there's not a fit. You're in athletics and I'm in digital marketing, right? There's not a fit, sorry, unless you're using digital marketing for athletics. But most of them come from oh, you've got a podcast, surely you'd want me on it as a guest. And it's like, no, I don't, sorry.
You get that too then, because we get it all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
And sponsors. It's like, no, keep your money. I don't want to have you on sponsor my show because I haven't used your service, and it's not interruption marketing. So yeah. Yes.
Do you want to read those questions out? I know we've had Crystal coming in. Crystal.
Yeah. We had a couple. Maybe I'll just go back, and we have had some technical questions as well. Let's see. We've got Crystal. I know using StreamYard now. What's the difference between StreamYard and just going live via YouTube? They're pretty much the similar thing. The advantage to StreamYard is that it allows you to be able to connect guests like you're seeing here. It allows you to be able to have a platform. And actually, one of the earlier episodes when we did have Anne-Marie, I think it was like number 2, where we actually went through our 20-point criteria on the StreamYard platform itself, which helps you identify if it's actually good for you. But basically, we can do these views. We can make it fancy. We can make it, full screen. We can add that text. We can show the comments, which you can't actually do in YouTube as well. You're kind of stuck with whatever you're presenting, which sometimes is good, right? Because sometimes all this extra stuff, it's like, oh, it's so distracting. I can put this up, and oh, let me put this up, and oh, I got to do this.
And then you press the wrong button. You accidentally
press the wrong button.
Stop the whole live stream.
Yeah, because we did an eCam episode, and this was like a test, but it was quite challenging because you have all these overlays and you have all this branding, and it's like, oh, now the pictures move, so now I've got to move my overlay, and it's like, StreamYard is easy.
Let me just pick up on what Crystal said there, and a big hello to Crystal. I haven't chatted to her for ages. I think she's in New York. And the basic idea with StreamYard is that StreamYard can, of course, broadcast to YouTube and Periscope and LinkedIn Live and Facebook Live and Twitch at the same time. So if you're brand new to the idea and you want to get lots and lots of information, as our friend Sajid called flooding this live streaming market, instead of live streaming, you're live flooding. That was his idea, an overflowing river. You know, what you're doing is you're getting the word out faster with the same amount of effort. And to me, it's such a no-brainer to use multi-streaming, which is the phrase I coined. You know, why not stream to LinkedIn and YouTube and Periscope and Facebook if you can?
Yeah.
Well, you're one and done.
Go ahead. Sorry, Gayl.
You're one and done. You know.
One and done.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? I wanted to.
Why not stick to one? Is that what you mean, Gayl?
No, do all.
One job.
Okay.
And the whole thing is done.
You've done one live stream.
100. Yeah.
And
Why not?
And everything is done. One and done. Right? So I wanted to piggyback on something that Anne-Marie said when she was talking about, you know, look, I don't want you on my, you can't be my sponsor. I don't, this is not a good fit. And Keith was talking about that as well. Part of the work of being on all of your shows is, who are you talking to? National Public Radio or National Enquirer? I mean, who are you talking to? And that's part of your job. That's part of the work as well. As someone who's typically on this, well, I don't want to say typically, because my business is, half of it is I'm teaching people how to do it, and the other half is I'm doing this with you guys, is I need to, part of my work is that's part of my job. I need to know, I need to Google you, I need to check you out on Facebook, I need to find things about you. If you're a huge Laker fan and I don't know that, and I am a huge Laker fan, that is a missed opportunity for me. How about that, LeBron? What the heck is going on there, right? So that's your job. You have to create a familiarity in like 15 seconds. And what's really nice
hard, though,
is if you have like a minute and a half before you go live and you actually get to talk, you can actually say, hey, listen, I Googled you. You have season tickets? Are you kidding me? What do I have to do to be your next best friend? Right? So you just talk to them like you're a person.
The interview will go much better, won't it?
Oh my God, yes. And you can, in the 15 or 20 minutes you have time to talk, you can always come back to it each time and it becomes a running joke. But you are smart enough that you're padding the walls with what you're selling.
Yeah, you make it very personal and personable as well, Gayl. And honestly, some of the conversations that we have are before we actually go live, where you kind of start discussing things and talking about things that are really quite personal, and it's, you know, human to human and that sort of thing. So it's all a lot of fun. And what I've done is I've just sometimes just gone live when we're still talking, because it's like, this is some great stuff. We're having a real conversation here. So
just on that point,
I do live broadcast television, and I never know what they're going to ask me. Not ever. I could prepare a whole thing, and before they when they open up the segment, before I go on, they do a whole 90-second package, which was everything I was going to say. And then it's redundant, so I'm scrambling in my head. And many times I'll say, you know what, I was talking to your producer before we came on. And that was one of the things that we actually talked about. Just kind of being honest and real about the situation, and that there's an actual human being over there and not a robot who's not only telling the story, but giving you the news, telling you something that we don't know. Many times I'll get a story will just break, and all I know is the headline. So I start out by saying, listen, this is very fluid. We have very few facts, but let me just tell you what we know so far.
You've got a couple of lines, a couple of ad-lib lines, you can sort of make it sort of sound fluid without actually having to say anything.
And I think I love that, Gayl, because every now and again, sometimes I'll be thinking, you know, because you want to segue, and you'll use some fillers, and you'll go, well, it's interesting because it reminds me of the time, or I wanted to ask you, and then I'm thinking, what's the next question? What's the next question? And then all of a sudden, when you trust the flow of things, but that's where you've kind of got to, you know, maintain your state. But just something on what you were saying, Doyle and Gayl, which is what I noticed when there were some instances where I was doing, you know, like 24, 26 podcast interviews a week. So I had them back to back to back, and there was not really any time. And I missed the opportunity to have that beginning chat with people rather than going, right, we need to go live, let's go. And I think those opening couple of minutes, even if it was just 5, you know, minutes of just that casual chat, you're able to kind of warm up the guest in that way, so that when you do go live, you've had that opportunity to speak beforehand.
And that's part of the work too. That's part of the work too, is knowing that you own that time, whether it's you're broadcasting or recording or going live. You own that time, and you can do anything you want.
And so, would you say that
the whole goal is to make it informative? See, one of the things nobody ever talks about, except, well, maybe about 20 people, but it's basically infotainment. And that is the crown of the cone of Showtime. It's infotainment. We're not here talking about how to do heart surgery. We have to be entertaining at the same time. I didn't have to say David Lee Roth's name, but I knew it would put a smile on Doyle's face.
Why do I look like a rocker, 80s rocker?
Kinda, yeah.
I cut my hair. It used to be like.
Oh, okay. You're holding something back there.
Yeah.
I got to be honest.
Well, otherwise, we're going to be here for another hour.
Yeah, really.
I'm going to prep for another interview coming up. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it, isn't it? I love that spontaneity. Aspect of things.
Yeah, no, for sure, and it helps. And we actually have some. What did Linda? Where is it? Oh yeah, she says I like to go live mid conversation. Yes, there actually is a reason to that too. So let me say that when you go live, it doesn't always go live right away. So what I found works quite nicely is that if you're having a conversation, you can press the live button and it works, because then when it's live, you'll actually start hearing it, because sometimes there's a huge pause.
There's a delay, and that's at the end too. It's an awkward when you're all sitting there like this, you know.
What do I do next? Which button do I press?
Remove the guests.
Yeah, and Anne-Marie, that's what you've done too. You've sort of created that that intro video. We actually did one this time too. I hope you like that.
But what you need to do next time, Doyle, is remove us from the room. So actually remove the people from the room.
Does it play over top then, or
no? Because we were still live and we still had our faces. So what I do is I remove you remove the people from and put them in the green room. Press live. Then when you see it's live, then press the video branding. And you do that at the end too. Press the video branding, then remove the people from the green room and put them in the green room, and then press end broadcast, and you can bring everyone back. Otherwise, you have that awkward moment where people are kind of, do I smile? Do I not smile? Do I move?
Yeah, really.
Just picking up on what Linda said there.
Which
Gayl,
one? Doyle is a rocker?
We'll come back to that too. Doyle de Roth, right?
Your eyes went like this when I said that.
Ludwig van Bueller.
Yeah,
but the idea that infotainment, the idea that you're sharing information in an entertaining way.
That's right.
But Linda mentioned edutainment, the fact that you're educating people in an entertaining way. And I've coined the phrase teach as I learn. Now, you may know this from this series, but in April, we didn't know how to use BeLive. I didn't know, so we tried it. You've already done it, but I didn't know how to do it. And on the second episode, we didn't know how to use StreamYard, so we tried it and we talked you through it. Edutainment. When we did Restream, which is a hilarious show with 30-second delay, this is, maybe, in one way, my best moment on television, but my worst, because we were so brave that we went online without even knowing what we're doing. And that's our style. This is quintessential edutainment. We're educating you about how sites work, like StreamYard, by doing it. This is StreamYard, and you can see what it looks like, and you can try it yourself. And that's entertaining, but it's also educational. I love that. I think that's really the future of media, really.
Yeah, and that's sort of part of this experience too. Was I've been doing live streaming formally since about 2016, 2017. I picked BeLive because it was one of them. It's like, okay, I got to decide. I'm going to pick a platform. I'm going to use it and go forward. So part of my problem was deciding which one am I supposed to use. So I just said, let's do it. I'm going to do it on this, and away we go. So it actually was quite cool when Keith and I were talking about how do we actually, how can we sort of expand live streaming and that sort of thing. It's like, well, let's look at other platforms. Let's bring in other people who, have some expertise on that. So it was really a fascinating journey. So yeah, I'm learning on this too. I don't know everything about Ecamm and StreamYard and Restream and all these other pieces of the pie type thing, but it's been a fun experience to be able to do that. Yeah. And so I'm going to want to wrap up pretty quick here. I know that people have got some other activities going on, but sort of the last question, what is sort of the number one thing specifically for Gayl and Anne-Marie and Keith yourself, what is the number one thing that we could be doing to be able to help businesses go forward with live streaming? What would you recommend? Gayl, do you would like to go first?
Give me a little more information on the question. I'm sorry.
Well, what would you recommend we're talking our audience is businesses. So what would you recommend businesses do to kind of get started with live streaming or continue it forward? How do they tweak their show? How do they make it better for their audience?
Okay, so first of all, I think we have to make an agreement here, and I think the agreement is that this is television. Don't go on television unless you know what you're doing. I'd like to offer up my website and my email address. I have a book called How to Survive the Media Without Getting Clobbered. It's an ebook. You can get it, and I send it to you. We could be friends forever because I'm on a mission. I don't want to see lousy TV. And what's going to happen is if you're lousy, I'm not going to learn from you. See, edutainment works if you present it in a way that I can take it in, and it doesn't offend me as being amateur. So you have to appeal to. That's the thing about performance. You can't go and see a Broadway show where they're reading the script while they're saying the words. Your job is you got to memorize it. So You can reach me at Gayl Murphy. It's Gayl at GaylMurphy, Gayl Murphy. And my website is gaylmurphy.com. And so there's a lot of good stuff in there. And I would love to help you set yourself on your way. I meet people all the time who say, I'm just going to go wing it. And you know what I say to them? You do that. You just go wing your little wings. Do it. But here's my card.
Perfectly said. After you've decided that winging it's not going to work, give me a call.
Yeah. Once you come down to earth and put that mirror down and stop kidding on it because you're so wonderful. Yes, your book is great. Yes, your music is terrific. But if you can't tell it, you can't sell it.
Yeah, brilliant.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Anne-Marie.
I agree absolutely with what Gayl was saying, because if you get out there and you don't really know what you're doing, you're building your reputation, and you can build your brand or tarnish your brand depending on how you present yourself. So that certainly is important. I would also say too, particularly because I work with a lot of business owners who want to be a trusted authority in their field, you have to start with the end in mind. So you need to think about why am I doing this live stream? If you want to build your reputation and you want to also build a network of other people who are key stakeholders in the industry, what is that end in mind? What's the call to action? How are you going to get that community? Because I'm all about leveraging that community to build your reach, to build your reputation as that trusted authority, and ultimately your revenue. And you can only do that when you've got that end in mind. What's the call to action to nurture those listeners, and in this case viewers, into leads, inquiries, and paying customers? And that's really what I would recommend, because if you don't create a community of people who are engaged with your content, they've got a common desire and or challenge that doesn't feel connected with you as the host and of course the guests and the content, then you're not going to be able to leverage to be able to monetize that. And so you've really got to consider those things. There's something that I've recently shared, and I really encourage people to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I call that the podcasting, and you can call this the live streaming positioning quadrant. You have 4 quadrants. And if you think about, an arrow going up with this point down the bottom being the lowest to the highest, and then across, diagonally as well from low to high, you can be an entertainer, and that is when you've got low trust and you've got low authority. Or you can be a celebrity where you've got kind of like an audience that kind of likes you and hangs out with you, but you're not really going to be able to monetize that unless, of course, you are in Hollywood, but then you're an actor, there's other aspects. But then on the right-hand side bottom, that's an expert. And that's when people will come for the topic, but they won't return for the host because they're interested in the topic, but there's that charisma, that entertainment or edutainment. You haven't got the tainment correct. But then if you go the top right, that's high authority and highly engaged community. That's when you're seen as a trusted authority. And if you can reach that level as a live streamer and obviously business owner, but also as a podcaster, that's when you're going to be able to start monetizing your message with your live stream and your podcast.
Fantastic. Thanks, Anne-Marie. Keith, you want to wrap up?
Yeah, well, I would like to encourage people who are interested in live streaming to do both sides of the coin. I would like to see people go on other people's shows as a guest to warm up, because then you don't have to push the buttons, and then you don't have to do all of the ancillary items that it takes to do a show. I'd like to see people have a show where they interview guests, because I find those types of shows much more interesting. I personally find them much more interesting. But if you feel right up from the get-go solid, you can talk at the camera and live stream your heart out. And if you can do that, great, that can work too. So really, I would like to encourage people to see both sides of the coin. There's a huge advantage in being a guest on a show. You get a recording, the other person does the heavy lifting, they've got an audience, and you get to meet new people. There's absolutely massive advantages to having a show and meeting cool people and having them on your show, and then they do the heavy lifting because they're introducing you to the other people. And then if you really do want to, you can talk at the camera and do that yourself. I personally don't find that very entertaining, but some people can carry it off. So I think just have a go. You don't have to really be 100% straight away, and you don't have to have all the gear. You just have to have a little bit of courage to try it, and that's what this show's really about. It's about giving you some of the tools, StreamYard, a webcam, a light.
Yeah. It's about building that courage, starting with something small, and going from there. But at least getting started. And
would you agree? Would you agree? With
that?
Yeah,
no, 100%. I mean, that's what you have to do. You have to overcome that fear of getting started, and that actually talks a lot about where Keith and I are launching a live streaming challenge coming up after part 10, which I want to quickly talk about for that, where we're actually going to be having it. It's going to be on Zoom. We're going to have it as a Zoom meeting. We're going to have it as a live Zoom meeting, so you can both come in and watch the show. You can come in and interact with the guests. Anne-Marie, hopefully you'll be able to join us, and Gayl, would love to have you there as well. I know your schedule might necessarily allow that, but we'd love to have you as well. So it's going to be on Zoom. We're going to be able to have everybody join us all at once and have multiple guests and attendees as well. So we can actually, where is that? Oh, goodness. So you can go register right now, bit.ly/decoded10.
Oh, wow. We've already got a link
to register. Yeah, I did that late last night, Keith. So.
Oh, wow. Decoded 10.
Yeah.
And so, out of nowhere, we had this idea in early April, and now we've got 10 shows. And now we've got this little thing on the internet where we teach people to live stream. And that's our brand, our edutainment brand. We're teaching people to live stream, and we're having fun doing it. It's the perfect scenario, isn't it?
And that's what we call the live streaming ABCs. So yeah, thank you so much, Keith, for joining us. Thank you, Gayl, for joining us all the way over in the US. Thanks, Anne-Marie, as well, for joining us from Melbourne also. So if you're watching this on replay, please just hashtag replay. If you have any questions, please ask those as well. We have had some amazing questions as well. I really want to thank Linda, Crystal, who else? Jennifer, and a few others there. Sorry, I can't go through all of them, but thank you so much for joining us and asking some wonderful questions. Really appreciate your time. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you online.
Had a good time.
Have a good time.